Morning. It is Saturday morning, 9:45. A little bit of a slow start. I usually like to take it a little slow on Saturday morning, but I got a full day of work, so we're gonna get at it. We're doing an injector. I'm in a different spot. Last time I did it in there. Today we're doing it where she sits, and it'll be just fine. We'll be getting this whole thing done today, so I'm not really worried about it. Honestly, I think I'm gonna like working out here better. You can definitely see better. Plus, I moved my pickup right here, so I got a workbench, and I can put down some rags and put my valve train. Well, not my valve train, my rocker arm assembly, all that jazz, right there on the bed of the pickup truck, and won't take up too much space, and it'll be right here. Did I mention I can see better? And did I mention also that it's nice outside today? I think it's still in the 60s, and it's sunny. It's gonna be a beautiful day. I'm gonna go ahead and get started popping all the external stuff off. Need to be careful with that valve cover gasket this time, and I'm going to try to. It has like a wire frame to it inside of the gasket, so I'm going to try to bend it back into better shape, so I don't have the same problem again. So that's what we're doing, and when you get to it, random interjection. Roz tells you just to keep the bolts with the valve cover. Well, as I've figured out in previous times here, that doesn't work for me. Mine don't stay in very well. So I actually just took all the bolts out first, and I had no binding up of that gasket. So this is the end that was causing problems. You see I was a little warped there. Anyway, that solved that issue, so that's an easy fix. We're already under the valve cover. I really need to fix this. Cylinder number 5. Boop. This is our problem injector. That's the one we're going to replace. If you guys know these engines, Jake brake solenoid for 1 through 3, 4 through 6, and the rockers are all clustered the same way. So you got a brake here. So this is one piece, and this is one piece. I took all this off last time to do number 1. I don't have to take any of that off this time. In fact, I'm not even going to run the overhead on that side. I'm not even touching that. Not at all. We're just going to run the overhead and mess with cylinders 4, 5, and 6, which is perfectly fine to do because I just have to isolate when I do my overhead, rotating to the right spot, and I can do the ones that I want because none of this is connected in any way. Don't have to worry about that. That's all torqued down. I ain't even gonna screw with that. We're just gonna do the back, and I will have to take these. I won't even have to take this cross. You know, I can do it without. I can just set it to the side. This is the Jake harness, if you guys are wondering. Wiggle the connectors off. Pry these up. I can just leave that over there. Last time I took just to get it out of my way completely, I took apart the harness here and pulled it through. Not pulled it through, but there's a connector there. I suppose you do pull it through. Anyway, I did that. I don't have to this time. So the next step we need to do, well, I haven't decided what I'm going to do next. Okay, this is where we're at now. Should have taken some time and just rubbing my fingers on the cam. This engine, well, you guys know more than I do. I should stop acting like I know what I'm talking about, but historically, the dual overhead cam engines liked to destroy cams. So I'm paranoid about it. So every time I'm in here, I'm just feeling up the cams. You can see, visually, you can see discoloration maybe a little bit. It's just, there's no ridge though. There's no ridge to it. It's just where it's riding. Because the, what'd you call them, followers, whatever, are narrower. There's no ridging. No grooves. I can feel with my fingernail. Good. Yep. Okay. Checking over. Let's see. Do I have it out? I do. I already got it off. Got it sitting over here. Fill tube and the connection into the front structure, front cover. That pops on there. It's a 3/4 inch drive. I got this sucker, and then I'm going to come over here and get, where's she at? Did I not even put it back in? Okay, it's not even in here. Oh, yeah, it is. This sucker. That's how I bar my engine over. I will be popping off that, well, not fully popping it off. It's a 3/4 right here. Pop this off and shove this down so I get better access. And then we're gonna figure out, well, I guess I don't have to do that yet. We're not to the overhead, but that's coming soon. That's coming soon. We're gonna be yanking this injector out next is what we're gonna do. Well, actually what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna go review the footage and triple check that it's the injector that I need. Okay, my GoPro actually can get some footage in here. I got a magnet on one of the rocker arms. Anyway, make it easier, I'm just gonna pop this out. These plungers actually are pretty easy to pop off. I have the hold down bolt down. You can see one of the other ones right here and one of the other ones right here. It's just a 12 point number 10 10mm that you pop out. I'm about to say something that I'm going to say with a grain of salt. Okay, I think I've already mentioned it once, but I don't. There's a couple things I don't do the same as Roz. It sounds like when I say it that way, sounds like I'm projecting myself as an expert. I am not. Okay, so we're gonna get that out of the way. I don't actually think of myself as an expert, but there are certain things you can do that you know it can be done a different way, and it's not gonna hurt anything. What I'm about to do is one of those things. He suggests pushing all the fuel through the head so you don't get fuel down into the cylinder. That's a great idea. That's good. That's great. I don't like doing it that way. Why? Because I have a tool that I bought for my other truck, Injector, to do an injector on that, to suck the cylinder dry with a suction, with a, whatever you want to call it, a pump. I can go down in there and I can suck all the fluid out of there. So I'm not worried about that. And this is the way I did it last time. In Roz's video, he does that. He clears the head of fuel, and then when he goes to start it up after he's fixed everything, it takes a long time to crank. And I'm just not about that life. So I don't prefer to do that way. I can suck the fuel if anything gets down into the cylinder. That's perfectly fine. I'm not worried about that. I think it's easier doing it that way. I think it's easier on the starter because not so much fuel leaks out of the head. Doesn't have to sit there and crank as long. In my experience, that's what happened last time. So that's my experience. Take it with a grain of salt. It made it a lot easier to start back up. It basically fired right back up. So, and he also says to run. Hey Logan, to run the lift pump like 6 times. I guess I don't completely follow that logic. You can correct me in the comments, because it can only get the fuel can only get so far. The fuel is not going to go to the heads from the lift pump because the actuators are not telling it to. So the lift pump is only going to get fuel from the tank through the filters up against the actuators, or maybe even the regulator before that. So it's not really getting fuel very far. So I guess I personally don't think that's necessary. What I did last time, and I'm gonna do it again the same way, is I ran it once all the way, and then I did it again, and on the second one I cranked it a little bit, not a lot, just a little bit, and I wanted to send fuel up into the rail. And then I ran it again because now you've depleted the pressure that was already built up. Anyway, that's what I did. My logic probably doesn't make complete sense either, so that was my plan. Right now, I don't have the right heel bar, so I'm having to use this angled pick to get under one of the flaps. Worked last time. Let's see if I can get it to work this time too. Nice thing is it's not really in there that bad. So just playing with it for a little while, it's gonna come out eventually. Don't hurt yourself. Hey, got it. There's my injector. Okay, so I'll be right back. Okay, so I just have a drop pan here with diesel in it already, so I could drain my injector out with it. Yeah, lots of soot on the tip. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. Got it. Okay, let me show you quickly the setup I have to push or to suction out the cylinders. I'm also going to use it to suction out the bolt holes, so I don't have any hydraulicing in my head and stuff. Don't really feel like cracking anything. Sound like a plan? Anyway, I got this little pump here. Tube goes down to the cylinder. Tube goes down into my drain pan. It's 12 volt, so it's hooked up to this. I love this thing. This thing is so awesome. I was sitting here charging my phone a second ago, and then yesterday I jumped my pickup truck with it. So it's this is one of my favorite things. One of my favorite things. It's not even a very expensive one. It's just a Menards one, and I use it all the time. It's also got an air compressor on it. Anyway, I'm going to plunge this thing down in here and clean out the cylinder, make sure there's no fluid in the cylinder holes. Cylinder holes, what am I talking about? Yeah. And then, like I said, I'm gonna get these bolt holes. You can see there's oil in them. I don't really want to crack those. Does it sound good? Not sure what was just going on, but it's over now. Okay. I am orientated correctly. Now I'm going to put my hold down in here. Now you don't really want to just smash it down in. You want to be gentle. Not to break an O-ring, because that would be fun. So, Roz suggests like a pulsing motion. We're just gonna go gently down in. It has been lubed well, remember. It is going down in smooth. I don't remember the torque spec. But I'm gonna go find it out right now before I crank on it. Obviously I'm not gonna crank on it, it's not a very big bolt, but yeah. Okay, the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to, well, let me show you. I got the injector in there, obviously. I got my valve train, whatever you want to call it, back in there. It is not tightened down. You can see there's a gap. Can you see that gap? And the way that it's suggested, you don't want to just tighten it down. Although I personally think it would be fine if you tightened it down evenly and slowly. But the suggested way is you come over and you play with it, cranking it over with your bar, and at different places along that rotation, it'll set down. And when it sets down, you not tighten the bolt down, but you take the bolt down to it, if that makes sense. So you want everything to set down evenly. I can't finish yet because I'm glad I came around here. I got those bridges sitting over there on the truck, so I'm gonna do that next. And then this is a tedious process, so I'm not gonna show it, but you just crank it over slowly until everything sits down where it's supposed to be, basically. I skipped all of the overhead. I just ran it. I'm making a mess right now, spewing oil over the side, but not terrible. Yeah, I wanted to watch. I'm gonna shut it down here. Honestly, it fired up really good. It did exactly what I wanted it to do. With very, very minimal cranking. So, a little bit of chug for a little while, but then it's smoothed out. I'm gonna put everything back together. That's it, guys. That's it. there's a couple other things I want to do today that I didn't think I was going to have time for. But we'll see if I show that or not. I'm going to show some stuff. This is one of the things right here. Right there. That's gross. I'm going to try to at least make it better. I need to order a new, is that a 45? Yeah. Okay. It's a lot later in the day. I've been working on a number of things. I don't want you to look at these welds because I did them and they're really, really ugly. I had trouble not getting my welder to turn down enough to not burn through. So it's disgusting. But there's no more leak there. Injectors are in. Everything's running good. What else was I going to talk about? So when I did the injector a couple weeks ago, I replaced the oil, but I didn't have a filter. So it wasn't time to change the oil yet. So I didn't change the filter because I didn't have one. It's just the way things worked out. Well, I got one yesterday, or the other day, and I put it on. So that's another thing I did. Topped off the oil. The other thing, so YouTube is awesome. I'm sure you're watching. You suggested, you had been talking about the intake pipe rubbing on the valve cover, and it was, which I mentioned a couple videos. I don't remember when I mentioned it, but your suggestion was a very good one. I did what you said. I got a lot more space into there now. You can sort of see where it was rubbing. It wasn't touching, but it would have been touching as we went down the road. I did exactly what you suggested. I loosened up the clamps and I twisted these on both sides, and now I got a whole lot more room. Whole lot, yeah, you can see it better here. Whole lot more gap there. I feel much better about that. What else did we do? That's it. The exhaust took a while because, well, it was being a pain. What else? Did we do anything else? I think that's it. I'm probably gonna grab the shop vac and clean up. But that's the end of the day. That's all I'm gonna show today. Yeah, thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Hopefully it was relatively entertaining. Not a how-to video by no means, but making things happen. Subscribe to the channel, hit the thumbs up button. We'll see you in the next one.